So in this video we're going to talk about fitting and when you're ready for foil and how a student can tell that they're ready for foiling. So what I have my class do is you want to make sure every single piece is ground down to the paper. So I just grinded this piece. I did this video after I did my grinding video, and I don't have every single piece done, but let's pretend that all my pieces are done and they're laying on top of my pattern. So at this point, what I have my students do is peel off their paper, and then as soon as you peel off that piece of paper, you want to take a Sharpie and write the number of the pattern piece. So this Sharpie is dead. I need to get a new one. And this is piece 5, so third time's a charm. Okay, third time's a charm. So I'm going to write my piece number on there. And I want to do that as soon as I peel off the piece of paper. So I peel off a piece of paper, write the number down. And you want to get in the habit of doing that because although this is only 12 pieces, later on projects get up to hundreds of pieces, and even though you think you'll remember how they go, chances are you won't. And I've even had students in this case that they're getting ready to foil their pieces, but it doesn't fit quite right, and they might just have something flipped over. So make sure that you're on the front. You write the number to every piece. So what this would look like is I'd have every single piece laid down without the paper and the number written in Sharpie. So the next thing I want to do is to make sure that my pieces fit to pattern, because if they don't fit to pattern, they're not going to be square and they're not going to fit together well as we go. So what I would do, and this is going to be hard to film and I'm just going to explain what I'm doing, is I would actually want to get straight above the pattern, and you want to be able to see the black line all the way around. So anywhere, you can see in this tip where it's overlapping the black line, anywhere it's overlapping, I would take a Sharpie, and I usually do this for them on the flower and the apple, or do a couple pieces, and wherever it is overlapping, I hold the piece very still. So I have to do that again. And I go over where it's overlapping. I draw a line for them. And you want to take this back to the grinder. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. You want to take this back to the grinder and grind it down until that line disappears. And you'll do that anywhere on the glass that it overlaps the line. Because the purpose of the line in the pattern is to leave room for the foil. So if you don't leave room for the foil, then your piece is going to grow outside of the pattern. This is especially important in making lamps because if you don't allow room for the foil, then it's going to grow bigger and then it'll be too big to put that base cap on. So it's really important that it still fits within the dimensions here. After every piece is ground and fit to pattern, so you should be able to see the black line all the way around the pieces, just grazing it. So the bottom portion, you can see that it's hitting it just right. Let's see if I can pick this up and show you. So the bottom portion here, you can already see a couple spots that I'd have to regrind. So let's see, like right here, I'd have to regrind. And here it's just covering the line slightly, so I'd have to regrind there. And you can see over here where I'd have to take that little slice off. If it falls short anywhere, that indicates that you have to remake the piece. So if it falls too short anywhere, so it did fall a little short here at the top, so maybe if I could shift my piece so that it would work. Yeah, so I would shift, so that would probably change how I decide what needs to go and what needs to stay. So I'd still need a little piece over here, maybe right here. Just grind in just a little bit more so I can see that black line all the way around. Okay, once that is done and every piece fits to pattern, this is when we get something called a jig, and this is what we solder on. So this has a right angle in the corner here. And what we do is make sure it's clean. So it looks like we have some solder here. as being really stubborn. So you want to make sure that it's clean and there's nothing on it. And we want to remove the pattern now. So our whole project would be on the jig. So I'm going to show you a project that someone's already in the process of working on. So at some point, before this was beginning to be soldered together, it was just a project right there, all lined up in the corners. And what we do at this point, before we've foiled, we take triangles and make sure that our project is square, so that all the edges fit in within the square. So here I have all the edges that fit in with the square. And this isn't even close to being done soldering. You can see that they're going back over and beating up their lines here. So this has a lot of work to go on it still, but just for the purpose that you can see this visually, we have our triangles here and we want to make sure it's square. Now if it's still not square at this point, you might have to either make new pieces or grind some of them down. If some of them are falling short, we have a process for making a new piece. So you need to make a new piece at this point and the pattern isn't fitting what's happening now. This is how you do it, and I'm just going to show you very briefly. So I would take a piece of the glossy paper, and let's say that my number 5 here wasn't fitting. So I would remove this piece. I would lay this on top, and I would get something like a colored pencil and shade on top of it. And what it's going to do is it's going to leave you the missing spot right here. It's going to be a little bit bigger than what you need, but just cut it out with regular scissors and recut the piece and just keep grinding it down until it fits. And it's usually the easiest way I've found to make a piece custom to it fitting past the pattern. So if you've got everything fitting except for one piece, once you're at this point, 1, 2, 3 pieces, that's one way to make an extra pattern for it. And that concludes this video.